Hello there and welcome to Fairyland Cottage, and thanks very much for joining me here today. It's getting to near the end of August and I thought I'd do a little update on how the vegetables are doing in the polytunnel. It's been a very bizarre summer, and like I was saying before in another video, the vegetables are about 6 weeks behind. So it's been very strange. We haven't been harvesting vegetables at the same rate as we would have this time last year. And you remember when I was talking a few videos ago about how in nature, when you're working with it, you can't ever procrastinate. You have to go with what's there, here and now, and harvest what you need, because it could be gone tomorrow. So I was harvesting a little bit of self-heal. I thought there was far more in the garden, until I just popped out and I realised there was barely any left. So I wanted to get a little bit of self-heal so that I could infuse in some oil. Infusing flowers in oil is a great way of then just getting that energy from that flower into the oil, and then you can use that oil either just straight on your skin or you can put it into a body cream. So I've shared links before, all the healing properties of self-heal. So I'm just taking a few because then that's it for this year. So I'm just going to leave that while the bugs kind of crawl off them. I've got a few little seedlings here, beetroot, some rainbow chard, some chicory. I'd already planted a bit of squash. I'm not doing a huge amount of vegetables at winter time. I just try and do a few bits of leaves and some easy veg. But usually this time last year these would have all been planted in by now, but because everything's behind, we have a little bit more time. So the peppers are still growing there nicely, but we are still waiting for the chilies. I don't think we're going to get any chilies this year. We didn't have enough heat this year to get the chilies. And this is some chicory. I'm just going to use that in stir fries. If you're a beginner, it's really nice to just grow leafy veg like spinach and kale and salad. Here's some of the cucumber. Now, the cucumber has done really well, and somebody said over on Instagram that it's actually apple cucumber or pear cucumber. It's quite similar to the regular cucumber, maybe it's a little bit sweeter. And of course much smaller, so we've got tons of them. I'll leave a link to some cucumber pickle that I've made every year. And cucumber pickle is a great way of just using up if you've got loads of cucumber. Another great veggie that grew well this year was the rainbow chard. Very easy because the more you pick it, the more it grows. It's a really nice one in salads or stir fries or soups. And the corn, we actually have some corn growing now. I don't know how big it's going to be, but it's the first year growing corn, so it's just nice for something different. The tomatoes, we're still waiting for the tomatoes to go red. We would have had tons of red tomatoes this time last year, but I'm learning to be a lot more patient and tolerant and accepting the way things are. And we've got a little bit of squash there at the front, and we should get that more October, November. So the cabbage grew really well, the spinach and the kale grew really well. So the other thing I'm harvesting at the moment is the St. John's wort flower. It's a beautiful yellow flower, and I love to dry it and use it in teas, and it gives a really relaxing tea. And some of you were asking for a video on just teas, but because the way it's going this year, we didn't really get enough of all the herbs. Some of them didn't grow well enough. But mostly what I do is just pick and dry and then store in the jar, mix it all together, and just kind of use a mixture of loads of different ones. And then if you want to put things like dried mint, that always seems to bring it all together. So I had some self-heal that I was drying and some John's wort from before. So I always have things drying on the cheesecloth. A few weeks later, as long as it takes to dry, you'll know yourself when it's dry, and then popping it into my tea jar. And then I'll re-dry then this St. John's wort flower to use at a later time. So I'm going to pop all the self-heal into a little jar, and then you just cover it over with oil. So this is different than essential oil where you need to extract the actual oil from the flower. This is just having the flower and then pouring the oil over it so that the oil becomes infused with the flower. I've done it as well with calendula. That's another beautiful flower that's really healing and soothing for sensitive skin. And the same here with the self-heal. After a few weeks and this has been infused, I'm going to put this oil in with some shea butter and make a nice cream for your body for sensitive skin. And then you just want to make sure that all the water can evaporate out, so you use a little bit of cheesecloth instead of putting an airtight lid on. And then you keep it in a sunny place for a couple of weeks and you just let it infuse, making sure that all the flowers are underneath the oil. So that's it for this week. It was just a very quiet morning in the garden. Really hope you enjoyed a little update on how the vegetables are doing. Let me know how you're doing below in the comments as always. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for watching. Keep it simple, and I'll see you in the next video.